Hello, everybody. Happy, what even night is it anymore? Is it
Uh,
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah, you're racing during the week, and then they kind of got everything jumbled up. So it just has me all kinds of messed up on what night of the week it is. But
Yeah, and they're racing Monday night stuff on a Wednesday night. Then they're gonna go race their yeah. There's a lot going on. A lot of racing
a
happening
lot
on
of
a Wednesday
confusion.
night.
But
There
it
is.
was it was a heck of a night of racing at East Bay. The second actual night of racing, the Wednesday night portion of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Winter Nationals at East Bay, the final Winter Nationals at East Bay. It did not disappoint. I know the first night, you know,
It was a
yeah,
little bit disappointing,
uh,
dude. Tonight though,
yeah,
it
it was
delivered.
lit
It was lit. I
from the get
heard,
go.
yeah, it was like the track started out a little bit more juiced, kind of wet, and they were racing all over it almost all night.
Yeah, it was a heck of a night of racing, and they're not even done as we're
No, they're not
going here
done.
record or streaming. They're still like I think they got a B main they're running right now, but we are coming at you with the Hunt the Front podcast. Thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to talk about East Bay, everything that happened tonight, and we're doing this. If you haven't figured it out by now, we're doing this after every Speedweeks event, going live,
Yep.
chatting about it here, and then throwing some clips up on the channel afterward. Hope y'all are following
Yep.
along. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the new channel. This is you having fun doing this,
Absolutely.
Jesse?
Dude, honestly, I am. Like I think it's a lot of fun and I love doing the live streams and uh and the engagement with chat and getting to see what they got to say and we're all just race fans at the end of the day and we're kind of racers, race fans. I feel like we're taking more part of the race fan
Yeah,
perspective with
exactly.
what we're doing. So, but at the same time we kind of look at it maybe a little bit differently at the same time, but it's a ton of fun. I'm really enjoying it, and tonight was definitely something to enjoy for a race fan.
No doubt.
Uh, like I told you, man, I think that tonight was, in my opinion, the best race that I have seen throughout Speed Weeks. For the future racing for Danger.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, or it was one of the best. I mean, yeah, I just don't
Yeah,
know which one I would say. If you go back to night one, was it night one at Volusia? By the way, Tyler Erb
night
wins
one.
tonight.
Yeah,
We didn't even cover that yet, but Tyler Erb gets
I
the
know. I'm
win.
excited.
We're just jumping
Yeah,
right into it.
yeah,
But
Tyler Erb, impressive. I mean, and he's got a track record. Like he's good at East Bay. He ran
mm-hmm,
good last night, kind of faded.
yeah,
But he's won last year at East Bay one of the nights, and then he's consistently up front this go round. Uh, are you surprised?
not surprised that he won at East Bay. Not
Yep.
surprised. I mean, he's good there, and I think we talked about it that we were expecting him to go there and run well at East Bay. So I was surprised that he won tonight. I was surprised because it felt like, he's led laps. He led at Ocala.
Yeah.
Did he end up leading a lap last night? He was up front last
No.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
he
He
led.
did.
He
He did.
led.
He
He led
led.
early.
Mm-hmm.
And fades to sixth last night, night one at East Bay, and then he leads laps tonight, and then Davenport gets back by him. He fades to fourth at one point,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh man, another night of Tyler Erb leading laps, making you think he's going to get a win and get back to the old Tyler Erb, that we want to see, and then he
Yep.
fades. But then he gets it rolling and gets back up there and wins the race. So that I'm not surprised that he won a race at East Bay. I was surprised to see him get back
That it
going
happened
and
tonight.
to fade, or drop back all the way to fourth at one point, then get back rolling and get back to the lead. That was
Yeah.
a nice surprise part of it.
It was, and dude, and we had three wide racing. We had, Davenport. You had Herb and Dalton Wilson. Dalton Wilson, man, he is up there. He's in the hunt.
Yeah, I
But you
thought he
had
was
them
going to get
guys.
another second for
Well,
a minute.
dude, yeah. Well, honestly, there for a minute, I had high hopes for him. Like
Yeah.
Tyler Erb and Davenport get to racing kind of up the racetrack, racing each other for that cushion up there,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dalton Wilson sneaks by him, and I think he leads a lap, maybe two. There at that East Bay tonight, and it's like crap. Maybe Dalton Wilson gets a win.
Yeah.
Um, I'm impressed that Tyler Erb. I think where you're going with this is that Tyler Erb kept his cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
loses the lead, and then manages to bounce back and go ahead and die and win the dang thing.
Yeah,
Like
it was a
I'm
beautiful
impressed.
sight to behold. The
It was.
racing and Turbo winning. A
Yeah.
lot of excitement in the heats. The B main. Amanda Robinson almost making the show in the B main. Like I got super excited about that. Just
Um.
so much excitement tonight at East Bay. Real quick,
There. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was about to. I was about to
Cade,
stop you.
Cade
Literally.
Lyerly. Sorry if we're not getting it right, but thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Sure do appreciate that, Cade. Just Bro Gaming, $9.99.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. I picked Turbo to win, so I'm very happy. How about Marler?
Dude,
Oh yeah, we even
holy
talked about
crap.
that.
There was so much.
Golly, Marler, like 23rd to second, and
That's impressive.
not to take anything away from Turbo, but if that's a 50-lap race,
Dude, no, I'm telling you. And honestly, if you listen to the fans cheering, like they were going wild when when the announcers asked about, how about some Mike Marler, and they
Yeah.
all went crazy. 23rd. That tells you a lot right there about the racetrack, the condition
23rd
it
to
is.
second.
23rd to second, and absolutely on rails. That was impressive from Marler.
Yeah, it was. And
I
then the
almost
way
feel like
that he got Davenport at the end,
Dude, I flipped out. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
So Jesse you're like what at this point, like a half a lap ahead of me on the stream. I'm watching it and he's watching it over there, but we're talking on our headset.
Me and Jonathan are watching the race together, but he's, watching it on his computer. I'm watching it on mine. We're in Discord, conversating about it, talking about things and notable things and whatnot. And it's like, I lose it, and then Jonathan's got to wait on it.
I'm like, what happened? I thought Turbo was gonna wreck. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh no, did he wreck on the last lap? Did he hit a tire in 3 and 4? And then I'm watching like, what happened? What happened? And all of a sudden, here comes Marler by Davenport.
Yo, Jonathan, okay? So down the back straightaway,
he's like 3 car lengths behind him, not even close.
And then it's like, okay, Davenport's got off of 2. I think they changed the camera angle. Davenport's got him covered. They show Tyler winning the race. It's like, all right. And we're just sitting there waiting on the checkered flag. It's like, holy crap. They just come into the frame and they're like, no.
About to run over each other for
for second.
Spot.
I feel like that.
Yeah, second. Yeah.
It stole a little thunder maybe from Tyler Erb.
It had the fans excited. They were hollering for Marler.
It did.
We got another super chat.
Oh, here we go.
Keith Abbott, $4.99. Thank you for the super chat. Keep this podcast up. Something to watch after racing is over before sleep. Hey, glad y'all are here. It's kind of late tonight.
Yeah, it's late.
They just finished the B main, by the way. The final B main. Did Bronson end up winning?
I don't know. I've been writing everything down. Who ended up getting the top 2 there for transfers? And there's something
we got talking and I got distracted.
We got a lot to talk about. I feel like tonight. It's good when you have a lot of good racing and noteworthy things, I guess, that take place. But I don't want to jump ahead to the B mains, but anyway, let's just finish up what we're talking about with the
Turbo with the win. That I feel like Turbo's one of those guys that a lot of people kind of either they love him or hate him type of thing. There's very few people that are like, Turbo, yeah, it's good to see him win. But somehow it's gotten to that where I feel like no one was really disappointed or hated the fact that Turbo won. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was definitely pulling for him and wanted to see him win. And I don't know, it's cool because you knew he was kind of on the cusp. He let one slip away for sure at Ocala.
Yeah. And then last night you kind of had high hopes for him,
right?
So I mean, would you call it 2 or I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know if he necessarily let last night get away. He just wasn't quite as fast as he needed to be.
Right.
It wasn't as kicking yourself as much as Ocala last night wasn't. But the point is, it was good to see him win. Then you got Marler putting on the show. But then you also have the whole just good racing all night, like action-packed racing, which is what you've come to love about East Bay and what you're going to miss the most about East Bay. As a matter of fact, I think Turbo, oh crap, I wrote it down, but I wrote it on a different sheet of paper. I had a quote that Turbo, you might have wrote it down too in Victory Lane. That's East Bay. That's how it's supposed to be. And
And
that
he wasn't the only one that said that.
right.
Jack Davenport said, "This is the East Bay. Like this is the East Bay that we know," or something along those lines.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's kind of my feeling of it, or that's what you're gonna miss about it is like, is it great every time? No, there's gonna
No.
be a race or two each year. They go down there, like last night's feature. So, a little bit of letdown, but
Yeah.
you're gonna have more races are gonna be like tonight than not. At
Right.
East Bay is what it's always felt like with me. And it's one of the reasons of all the speed weeks racing, East Bay is the week where I am tuned in
Yep.
from. I might miss hot laps because I'm trying to get home in time. You know
Yeah,
what I
they
mean?
do
But
start early.
it's the one where I hate to say it, but it's the one where I will pull it up on my phone on the drive home from
Yeah.
work to the house. I'll have
Yep.
it going on my phone. Any other one, I'll turn it on when I get to the house. But East
Right.
Bay,
Whenever it's convenient,
yeah.
you know.
East Bay, I'm getting it on as soon as the stream goes live. I'm turning it on. Zach Boswell, thank you for the $5. Excuse me, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Streaming Discord so you guys aren't behind. I don't know if we're supposed to do that.
I don't think it's legal. I mean, here's the thing. Maybe it'd be okay because Jonathan's got a Flow subscription. I got a Flow subscription. It would probably be okay, but you don't want to
Rules
mess
are
with any of that.
rules.
Rules are rules. Thank you for the $5,
Yeah.
Zach B.
Appreciate that, man.
Yep.
So okay, a couple things about this race. First of all, Turbo winning finally. After a couple missteps, getting
Yep.
the win. Is it maybe a little bit of a turnaround for Turbo? And like we said, we talked about it. He was a little bit down last year, 8th in points. I believe I went back and looked. 8th in points and only one win last year. Should we expect better this year based off of the results so far at Speedweeks?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Some guys come out and they're hauling butt in Speed Weeks. I know we used, I think, Devin Moran as an example, before. So it's just hard to say. And it's proven that Tyler Erb can get it done at East Bay. He did it last year. He's ran really good last night. He wins tonight. I mean, maybe he's good at East Bay. I don't know. I know Dale McDow even said on the mic that this is Tyler Erb's kind of joint or, whatever. A lot of guys are talking about just smashing the gas. And maybe he's a throttle smasher and East Bay suits him. But it's just hard to say, like, does this momentum carry over to the rest of the year? But I mean, maybe if they start rolling, then they're rolling. It's hard to say.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely hard to say. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I know he's good at East Bay historically, but I feel like maybe there's some momentum there, and it's a fresh start, with the season, and he can do. I would like to see him up there competing, trying to get in that top 4 at the end of the Lucas Oil deal.
Tyler Erb is he's a likable person. Like he's wild.
Even if you don't like him, he's an interesting. He keeps things interesting.
He does, and I would love to see him have a solid just year. A good year, good points run. Does he contend for the win and the title? I don't think so, but I would like to see him get a top 5, just a solid year throughout. He's just a likable guy.
Win more races.
And did you know? I don't know how to otherwise put this, but he's like a closet hunt the front watcher.
Yes, I know he watches. I know he watches
like,
some.
I don't
videos.
Think he's like, they don't really announce it to the world, but like we've talked about it a couple times, and he's like, yeah, hell yeah, I watch you guys. Like it's like something like,
where were we? We were somewhere, and he said hey to me, and I'm like, I've never met this guy.
Yeah,
and I'm like, he knows me from the videos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's pretty cool.
I think it might have been Magnolia when we went up there and raced with Lucas Oil or something. Hey, Just Bro Gaming, thanks again for the super chat, $4.99.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of turbos, keeping things interesting. I love Turbo's comment about buying East Bay. Say he's going to buy East Bay and build a shop where
and Hudson O'Neill's parking spot or Rocket One's parking spot. I thought that was hilarious.
Also,
dude, go ahead.
Marty Hagwood. Marty Hagwood, thank you for the $100 super chat. Sure do appreciate that, man. Really do. What about McDow in the booth? Much better than Bloomer. McDowell is really good.
He
in the booth. Like he could, if he does retire. I mentioned this last night. If he's hinted at retiring like 3 or 4 times now. if he does, he has a future calling races, like 100% hands down right now. If he announced he was retiring, I'd be like, Joshua, we need him calling the Hunt
Like,
the Front series races.
I'll be
But I
honest,
think
like,
Flo's probably already got their eye on him.
oh yeah,
You know what I
their
mean?
wheels are turning. Their wheels are turning. I feel like they're using him a lot like they used Weaver,
Yeah, Randy Weaver
at
at
Randy
Eldora.
Weaver. And honestly, like, I think he might be better than Weaver.
Yeah, but he also said, I didn't realize this. He said tonight that he had some experience, I guess, back
Yeah.
on the old Speed Channel or one of the networks calling some races. He probably got some professional coaching during that one. Going they were
Yeah.
taking them in and doing it after the fact, calling the race for a race that was televised later. I bet there was like a professional he went through some training there, but he does
Right.
seem like a natural.
He does.
And I think that is like I could, I have coming up on the Super Bowl here. I have my favorite
Broadcasters,
the ones,
commentators.
yeah, and that I know if that game's going to be on a certain channel, all right, those commentators are going to have it. I'm going to like this game more because certain people are calling it. You know what I mean?
Is it? Sometimes it's their voice. Some people just have.
It's also
a
the
broadcasting voice.
Yeah, Dale. I don't know if he has the voice for it. He has a good
He has
enough
great
voice.
insight.
He has the insight, and he's also. I feel like I've only talked with him a few times, but I feel like he's a pretty good talker. You know what I mean? He probably just as good in conversation, and that he's able to also be that way in the booth. Anyway, Dale McDowell definitely has a future in calling races.
Absolutely. Marty, thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. All right, so back to Tyler. Tyler gets the win tonight. Oh, here's another point, Jonathan. We kept asking the question. Does another Rocket win besides the Rocket one tonight? Tyler Erb answers the call for the Rocket team and picks up the win.
It's not just Hudson that's running well.
It's not just Hudson.
I will say though, if there was gonna be one that won another Rocket other than Rocket One winning, I would have put money on Turbo. So,
really?
Yeah. Okay. Who else was gonna do it?
Clay Harris?
Is he in a Rocket?
I mean, Dennis Erb. You ain't got no faith in old Dennis.
Okay, it would have been close, but I probably would have going into East Bay. I'd have probably put my money on Turbo if I was betting on another Rocket other than Rocket One to win, Hudson to win.
Yeah.
But the other point about that is we were talking about it, looking at the past results, and Rockets are pretty much dominating East Bay right now.
That's the big question. Like, we were talking about, does another Rocket win? Does JD go on a streak? Does Ricky Thornton go on a streak? Lucas Oil regulars are on a streak. Now it's kind of like, does anything besides a Rocket win at East Bay? What is the stats that you came up with earlier?
This is like me just looking in a matter of 3 minutes a while ago between one of those heats and doing the research on dirt. But it is, I believe, 7 in a row at East Bay for Rocket, and 11 of the last 12 going back to 2022. That's as far back as I went. I know Shepherd, there was one year, either 20 or 21, where Shepherd won like 3 of the East Bay races. It may have been 22. Anyway, I do know for a fact, going back to 2022, it's 11 out of 12 that Rocket has now won.
At East Bay.
Yeah. I said I know for a fact. That's my math, my research. If I'm wrong, I apologize.
Hey, somebody fact check that. Feel free. To our knowledge, that's the truth until proven otherwise.
They swept last year with Turbo, Winger, Gustin, O'Neill, and now you got 2 Rockets with O'Neill and Turbo winning so far this year. Moran and a Longhorn won the finale in 2022.
And that was the last thing other than a Rocket that has won.
I believe Rockets won the rest of the week that year as well. So Rockets, even if I missed them, if I'm wrong on 1 or 2 of those, it's still Rockets are dominating at East Bay.
Yeah, that's the consensus there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
it'll be interesting to see. I guess it's kind of flipped now, and can a Longhorn win this week?
Right. Yeah, I think that's now the question. I'd say one of the top. Okay, I'll tell you right now. I had JD to win it. He was rolling off outside pole. I had him to win, and then it just seems like he just isn't
quite good
getting
enough.
it done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he's there. This is third, fourth time that he's been up front, and he just isn't getting it done. Like close every time.
Close,
How
but
many?
no cigar.
No cigar. And I had him, tap to win tonight, and
Close, but no Bush Light.
or that.
But she's probably still getting the Bush Light, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Just missing just a little bit
And
in the feature.
I don't know. And then you had Ricky tonight had engine I think that's what they said is he had engine problems.
He was scheduled to start third in his heat, but it had blown up. He blew his engine on lap 2
or whatever.
Qualifying.
Yeah,
or whatever.
So I would say one of the top contending Longhorns was ruled out tonight due to mechanical failure.
Right.
Maybe he bounces back. I bet you he's glad it happened tonight opposed to tomorrow night.
Yeah, no doubt. The thing I saw in a comment here is Turbo has a biggest fan Moran from tonight.
Oh yeah, we could, but I mean, crap. I mean, if that was a racing deal,
Yeah.
I think. I mean,
Moran
Turbo
wasn't happy with it.
No, Moran wasn't, but Moran was trying to kind of have the whole racetrack in a sense, and at the same time, Turbo's kind of coming down the racetrack a little bit.
Where they were going for the same real estate.
Yes.
One's swinging way out, the other one's sort of closing and
Kind of
taking a short entry to the top and kind of coming down a little bit, and they just came together.
Yeah, it was a bad deal.
Yeah, talking about when Moran and Turbo got together midway through the feature, and it spun Moran around, and I was surprised. It was after, I guess, Moran won a heat race at the end of the night. Was it?
Yeah. He won a heat race.
In the interview, he said something about Turbo, typical Turbo, or what did he say?
Attack. Something about attack.
I wrote it down somewhere.
Oh crap!
I got too many pages of notes here. But
he wasn't. He was
he
displeased.
wasn't happy with it. Yeah.
Yes. So, but I mean,
a dumbass attack.
That's what he said. Something about an attack
from Turbo.
But, I don't know. I could see where maybe Moran didn't really commit to the bottom either, and he was kind of trying to float up, and Herb had a head of steam coming, and
he was expecting Herb to stay up there, and Turbo comes down a little bit, kind of taking cutting across the corner rather than
a little bit of a slider line,
right.
A little shallow
they just
slider
came together. Bad deal.
Yeah.
Bad deal.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Albertson running 5th, I believe, in the top 5, and spins and collects Overton with the hard hit on the restart.
Oh my! That was a lick.
That was a lick.
You know what it reminded me of, Jonathan?
What did it remind you of, Jesse?
Well, when Overton nailed us at Eldora.
They're only going maybe 2/3 of the speed at East Bay at that point, but it's still a hard hit. And
it was still a good lick.
It was. I noticed it. The final replay they showed, it's like had insult to injury for Overton. He hits Albertson and spins around and just slams with his left front the outside wall. So he went ahead and KO'd the
Gets
whole
it from both sides. Yeah, both sides.
Not just the right front. Man, it was just such an interesting race. So much good racing tonight.
It was.
Okay, so you alluded to this, but I don't think we actually answered the question, and maybe chat can help us out with this. Was it the best race of Speedweeks so far tonight? Turbo winning at East Bay, just solid battles all night.
I mean, we had 3-wide battle. We had 3 different leaders. You had Jonathan Davenport, Dalton Wilson led a lap, maybe 2, and then Tyler Erb, and I mean just slider battle with Davenport. I think, and then the race for second. I mean, I still think that's a race at the end of the day. With Mike Marler coming through the field, I think that it was probably the best race I've seen of Speedweeks. Like throughout the whole deal, what I watched, what I got to witness on Flow, I thought it was the best.
I think it was pretty dang good. I don't know the feature at Volusia night 1. Wasn't it night 1? That was
it was the first. Yeah, it was the first night.
It was really dang good. But if you take the night as a whole, if we look at from heat race to first lap of the first heat to final lap of the feature, the one thing that, if you'll remember, the Volusia, the heat races were no good. No passing.
No, they weren't.
Remember, we talked about how it was the storyline.
We're worried that it was going to be just complete snoozer. in the feature.
So the thing that carries this one that I'll say, yes, it was the best race so far, Speedweeks. The thing that gets it over night one at Volusia is the fact that it was all night, not just the
All night.
feature. It was all night good racing from the heat
Mhm.
races, the B mains to the main event itself. So yes,
Yep.
I will say it was the best night, the best race of Speedweek so far. Did you want to go ahead
I
and
agree.
we'll rate the race?
I mean, we're kind of into that. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm going to give it, I will say, here's what it lacked. I will say, if I were to complain about it, it would lack a finish for the win,
Yeah.
a competitive finish for the win. Tyler kind of had it covered up at this point.
Right.
So, with that being said, it ain't a 10. I'm going to give it 8.5.
You
A
stole mine.
solid. I mean, a solid, eight
Solid
and a
eight and a
half.
half.
Like, it's bumping a 9, but I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
There was a couple of folks chatting about it, talking about it in chat before we went live, and I actually replied 8.5. So yeah, 8.5 for me as well.
Yeah, if it would have had a little bit better finish, or if it would have came down to a closer battle for the finish within 5 to go,
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking
Turbo
9s
stunk it
to
up.
10s. Yeah, Turbo was good. He was just faster. But anyway, all right. So now that we covered, Jonathan, all of that, I even seen, I kind of glimpsed and seen a comment. We talked about the hard contact from Brandon Overton in a heat race or whatever. There was another incident, Jimmy Owens, Brandon Shepard, and it was a bad deal. Shepard got, it was just a bad deal, and it wasn't necessarily Jimmy's fault. Just Jimmy,
Well,
it just
it
didn't
was
turn.
Jimmy's fault.
It
but
was
wasn't
Jimmy's fault.
Nothing
It was.
intentional. What was
No.
that? It was in a heat race.
It was in a heat.
On the start of a heat
Yep.
6, I believe. And Jimmy goes into one, and he just didn't get the car to turn. Throttles up, pushes right up into.
And Shepard had a head of steam, and it looked like he tried to stop, but he was just going a lot faster. When Jimmy pushed, he was off pace a little bit. Killed him.
He spins it around, and I think Boom Briggs hits him pretty hard. There was another
Somebody
one that
else.
Him. Oh, Gustin. Was it
Gustin?
Ryan Gustin?
Yep, it was Ryan Gustin and Todd Cooney's car.
Yeah. So that was a bad deal. The one thing it doesn't matter. He doesn't have to do this, but for some reason I appreciate when someone says, "Man, I hate that. I know I messed up." And when they interviewed him after his heat race win, and Owen says, "Man, I hate that for Brandon. I know I messed up." I don't even remember what he said, but it's
and here's the thing: like, Owens don't even know. Like, he didn't see Brandon.
Right.
He probably felt the bump, and
what you do know is I messed up. I know the guy hit me, and I know he's no longer starting beside me.
And his car's over here junked.
Yeah.
Exactly. So roll around under caution. You're like, oof.
My bad.
Yeah.
Whoops. That was on me, guys.
That was on me.
But everybody's been there. I mean, you race long enough, you're going to be the guy that tears somebody else up, or that messes up, and it costs someone else. You know what I mean? That's just. I'm sure Shepard's been in, on the opposite side of that, and so is Owens. It's just part of it. But
it's just bad racing.
You hate to see a good car taken out on lap one of the heat.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I know the Albertson incident. He looped it. He went in, backed it in, and looped it.
I will say,
unfortunate for Overton.
Turn 1 at East Bay is I think it's turn 1 at East Bay and turn 1 and 2 at Eldora are like the most interesting corners. You know what I mean? That you have in dirt racing. I feel like just you never know what's going to happen, especially at East Bay though, with it just guys are pushing so hard, and then you got the whole front end grip issue half the time, and then you got to throw it in there so hard half the time, which is what got Albertson, and it just makes for interesting calamity corner, if you will.
It does
at East Bay. Other things at East Bay, we talked about the Rockets dominating. Be interesting to see if one other thing I wanted to point out, the no provisionals. I like that. I like seeing the racing with no provision. Like Marler, he had to race his way into the show and did not have, if this were a tomorrow night, he's going to have a provisional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But tonight he had to race his way in through a B main. Had to get up on the wheel. He didn't have a provisional to rely on. It makes it interesting. You see guys like I know RTJ in a heat race last night. He's running fourth midway through the heat, gets up on the wheel, gets all the way to second. And it's like typically, in a points race, when those guys have provisionals, you might not see them push so hard.
No, they're not gonna push it, and honestly, they might just go out there and ride around, or they might just start in park because they know they got a provisional. So
Right.
it makes the top guys that might be starting a little bit deeper than what they would like to drive their A's off. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And get up on the wheel and put on a show to make the show.
One
Um,
thing that I would like to see though, if I feel like if we're not going to do any provisionals for the series guys, maybe we could do like a fan vote provisional on those first 3 nights. Like,
yeah.
hey, y'all yell for who you think. You know, we'll have a judge pre-selected, and they're gonna say who the fans yelled the loudest for. Because who would have probably gotten the provisional tonight if they had the fan vote, fan yell provisional at
Golly,
East
there's
Bay
been
tonight? It's a simple
and you know
answer.
who I think?
Ew.
Do you think it would be Amanda
I
Robinson?
100% think it. I'm just
Yeah,
teeing you up.
okay.
That's
Yeah,
easy.
no,
So
absolutely, dude. God, dog.
so Amanda
All right.
Robinson,
Yeah.
Ross Robinson's wife, and I guess is she typically the crew chief, or I don't know if she's
That,
considered the crew chief, part
well,
of the crew. I
they
know she goes
yeah,
racing with him.
they always say she's turning the wrenches, you know what I
Right.
mean? So she's part of the crew. She's about it.
So she's racing at East Bay as well as Ross. And she is on the cusp of making the show. 75 cars. Only 24 make the race, and she finishes one spot out in her heat race. Right.
Mhm.
And then she
Yep.
is leading the B main with just a handful of laps to go, couple laps, 3 laps, whatever it was to go. Racing, having to race pretty hard with Brian Shirley breathing down her neck there,
Hey, she was ripping the top.
ripping the top.
Ripping the top.
Shirley couldn't get by. And it's like she's gonna get it. If worst comes to worst, Shirley's gonna get by. She's gonna finish second. She's still gonna be in the show. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'm like, she's and I done told Shadow like, hey, that's that's a girl there that's driving that car.
Yep.
And I done told me, her, and Tennyson are in there watching, and we're pulling for her. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
gosh, like a couple laps to go, comes up on a lap car and kind of just gets squeezed into the wall going down the back straightaway. Gets hung up on the wall. Like it's
Yeah,
one thing you can scrub the wall, like that happens, but she just
yeah.
like it gets the right front caught in it. It
I
ruins.
think I heard McDowell say like, the it gets real muddy, like real close to the wall. It's
Mhm.
real muddy, a lot, real heavy, and and at the same time, like just terrible timing for her to get to the lap car. She has Shirley breathing down her neck underneath her. They're racing extremely hard, and then they come off with two, and the lap car's there, and she didn't know where the lap car was going to go, and I just think it threw her off, and she just got her right rear off of where her groove, and
Got
and
hung
and
up in
dri
the wall.
hey, you know who else done the exact same thing?
I saw it, but I can't remember who it
No,
was.
no, no, no. Yeah, oh, I remember who it was. It was Joseph
Oh.
Joyner, turn 3.
At East
Done
Bay
the
and
same
rode
thing.
up on
Just
the wall.
just gets up on there a little bit too far and rides up
There
on the
was
wall.
someone else that did it tonight though, got hung up in it.
Oh, I can't remember.
Anyway, but yeah, I remember when we were down there running the crate car, same thing happened to Joseph.
To
But
Joseph, yep.
it was cool. I mean, I hate it for her. Like
I do.
We were
I
pulling
was
for her 100%.
extremely pulling for
But
it. It was a
cool.
heartbreak.
It was cool because we've been watching a lot of racing here lately. Like probably a little more than my wife would like for me to. A little more time than my wife wants me to spend watching racing the last few weeks.
Yeah, same.
So I've been trying to get. Well, we'll watch it together. You know what I mean?
Get them involved.
Yeah.
Get them involved.
And this was the first time all speed weeks that she's paid any attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I told her, hey, that's Amanda Robinson's girl starting there wherever she was starting, outside pole, whatever it was at the B main. So she's watching it, and she was more upset about her hitting the wall than I was.
Yeah.
So that was
Shadow was pulling for her.
Yeah, she was. Girl power type of thing.
And I mean, especially in this sport, you just don't see it very often, especially in dirt late
Right.
models. Like there ain't very many women. I ain't saying there ain't none, but especially on a national level and having tons of eyes on it, like there ain't many women that get out there and do that. And it's like, hell yeah, like I want her to do good. I want her to show out,
Impressive.
and it's, oh God, I would get bashed, but there ain't many women that are just that I watch and like, hey, that one's good.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
good at the sport, good at this. A
wheel
real woman.
A real
You know
wheel
what I mean?
woman.
A real
Hey,
woman. And
here's
I
a-
think Amanda Robinson's got that, she's got it.
For sure. Here's a question for you. So not only is we have a woman trying to make the show, if she makes the show, she is racing against her husband. You know what I mean? Which I think were they in the same heat race at the end of the night? I think they might have been.
Shoot, I don't know.
Yeah, I
They
think
might
they
have
were in
been.
the same heat there in the makeup heats at the
Yeah.
end of the night. Anyway, it got me to thinking like
It
I could not imagine.
I couldn't either.
Could you could you race against your significant other? I don't
Hey, could
I
you
don't
imagine the ride home?
if you wreck each other or if
I
she
mean, one
beats
way.
you.
Yeah, one way, especially if she beats you, but one way or another, it's kind of like, no, I don't know. Maybe Ross and Amanda got it all worked out, but I could not. Hell no.
I let Shadow. I tried to teach Shadow to drive my race car one time. With
Jonathan,
the clutch.
yeah.
Deal.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, get out of there. No.
Yeah. Jonathan, I rarely let mine drive me in a public motor vehicle.
Yeah, no way you're letting her drive your race car.
Yeah.
Not only could I not imagine racing against my wife, I couldn't imagine watching my wife race. Like
No.
I couldn't imagine how nervous Ross Robinson was.
Yeah.
Watching her race, and I'm sure they're used to this. Like it's not like it was her first time racing. You know what I mean? I think they said two-time
Delaware track champion somewhere over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So obviously she's done plenty of racing.
She has.
And everything. But regardless, like I couldn't imagine how on pins and needles he was watching her. And that'd be mean.
And I also seen like it was kind of a cute moment, it's clearly, she's going to be dejected and super, mad or upset with herself or whatever the case may be. And you could see Ross lean in the car and you could just imagine that he was consoling her, Yeah. So that was pretty cool, man, to watch that.
It was, you had a heck of a night at East Bay. And then it's just another storyline that you saw. I think I heard that they said she was only running the first 3 nights.
Yeah, because of the points kicking off, that they were just gonna. But crap, man, myself, like I want to see.
We need to get
I want to see her make a race.
We need to get a movement, a social movement going. Let the girl race.
Let the girl race.
Let's let her see what she can do. Don't end it here. Let keep it rolling. She's gonna make one of these shows if she gets to race the rest of the week.
Absolutely.
That was awesome. That was a cool part of East Bay tonight for sure.
Yep.
Okay, what else we got? We lost Jesse for a minute. Y'all give me a second. We'll get him back. Come back, Jesse. Where'd you go, Jesse?
I'm back.
There he is.
You got me back on screen?
I believe you're back. You're a little frozen up on us. Dang internet over there.
It might have been me that dropped out. So if we're back live, we back live? Because I was going to go into the next topic.
Well, you're froze up. I can hear you, but you froze up on me. You moving? Nope, you froze up on me. I still got your audio?
Yeah.
All right. Jesse's here, but for some reason, he's frozen.
I am frozen. That's really weird.
Yep.
Hold on.
Y'all sit tight with us. It's late and the dang internet's being mean to us.
I'm going to leave and come back.
All right, you leave and come back. I can't believe that we hadn't had an issue any more significant than this so far in all of the streaming we've done here.
Yellow.
You back again? Do something, make some movement. All right, Jesse's back. Back.
We're back again.
What were you going into? Right. You had something
on
your mind.
We covered that, and I seen someone in chat say something earlier. Did you see? You were actually gone when all this took place, but this was at the after fact of the heat racing and everything for the Monday portion, I guess is what it was. Max Blair wins Heat 4, scheduled to start outside pole of the Monday night's race tomorrow night. He gets docked 4 spots for Droop. And that's because me and you were sitting here wondering, like, what's taking so long for the second B main to get rolling? So you're like, all right, I'm going to get up and go.
Start our stream. Right, like the B mains are going to end. Boom, we're going live. And then they're dragging their feet. And it's like, what the heck are they dragging their feet about?
Yeah. Well, so you were like, all right, well, I'm going to go to the bathroom and I'll be back. So while you were gone, they come on there and they say that Max Blair gets docked 4 spots for failing the Droop test, and he ends up having to start on the outside of the pole of a B main
instead of outside pole of the feature.
Which get this, puts Tyler Erb on the outside pole of the feature for the Monday night. Yeah, so that's
Okay, so
that's
who's your money on for the second feature tomorrow? Are they running it
uh
tomorrow night?
I do think they're gonna run it. Yeah. So they got the heats and B mains in tonight, and they're gonna run the other thing tomorrow night, the feature. So
Yeah. So
but anyway,
Turbo's in prime
that's
position to double
Turbo.
up.
Turbo is up front again for a feature tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's I like the sound of that. That'd be
Yeah,
interesting to see. We got to make it through a whole nother night of racing
yeah,
before we
that's
see how
true.
that turns out. So
And
tonight you had the treat of a whole night of racing, heats and B mains. Tomorrow night you get a whole night of racing and a feature with Turbo starting on outside
yeah,
pole of it. So that'll be interesting for sure.
it'll be interesting.
I do hate that for Blair because like in his interview after the heat race, it's like he was like
Happy.
I just like, oh man, we needed
We
this,
won winning a heat race. Yeah, just winning a heat race. He
and
was.
then it's taken away. But the
Yeah,
good news is he wasn't DQ'd. He was just docked 3 positions.
it was 4.
4 positions. So he still
Yeah.
had a chance to. He went and won the B main.
He ended up making the show, but I mean, starting in the back and starting outside pole is real different.
Right. Heck, I don't know. But yeah. That's tough. That's tough. He hasn't been terrible, but he has struggled. Blair has by his standards for sure. So
Yeah,
hate to see that.
which is something new. He does a lot of different things, and like he was with Boom Briggs, and now he wasn't he with Viper, one of the first national guys touring with Viper, or was there someone before him?
Lanigan drove for Viper.
Lanigan,
I do know that. Then Blair,
and then it was Blair,
and then Blair went and was racing with Boom.
And
now he's with another bunch.
Center line,
And
I think center line.
Pretty sure I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was running Rockets and has switched to the Longhorn. So I could be wrong on that, but
yeah, because Boom and them's got Rockets,
right? So he'll get rolling. He'll get rolling for sure.
Yeah.
What else we got? Anything from night one that Clay Harris made the show, the show tonight, the show tonight, the Tonight Show. So that made him 6 of 7. But then he missed. I believe he missed.
He
Correct
did.
me if I'm wrong, but I believe he missed the show for the makeup tomorrow night.
He
now
did.
He's 6 of 8, if I'm correct. Still impressive. Still impressive. O'Neal, hate to see him.
With him and Bronson. Him and Bronson. I forgot about that. We were talking about the wrecks.
That was an unfortunate situation there.
It was. I feel like, I'd be the first one to say, "Oh, Bronson ran him over,"
that
but
wasn't the case.
It wasn't the case from where I was sitting.
O'Neal was going about 20 mile an hour slower than Bronson thought he would be going right there.
It's like O'Neal just went in the corner, kind of missed it through the center, and just kind of hit the dead slick and wasn't moving. And here comes the 40B.
Yeah.
And boom.
Another unfortunate situation.
And that's the thing, is there's like 3 really unfortunate circumstances. You had Overton and Alverson, Devin Moran, Tyler Erb, and then Hudson O'Neal, Bronson. It just racing deals. Like, I wouldn't really blame anybody in the scenarios, or it wasn't nobody's real fault.
That's what East Bay, you see a lot of that because it's so wide open, and multiple lines and guys moving around, and you just see a lot of that, contact that, if you're looking at it objectively, it is probably a racing deal. But if you're involved, whatever,
it's always the other guy's fault.
The other guy's fault. It's just how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just what makes it so interesting down there.
Yeah.
All right. So tomorrow night, it's a full fresh night, starting all over. Well, for the one feature, we know we got the second feature afterward. But for as far as tomorrow night being the first points night at East Bay, 10,000 to win. Fresh start. Who you got? Who you looking at to be impressive tomorrow night?
Golly, man, JD has been so close every night. It's just like, surely, like, he's gonna hit. Surely he's going to follow through with it and then get the dub. And not only that, but at the same time, it's like, crap. Rockets are really on a streak right now. Might need to go with a rocket driver. Tyler Erb, or Hudson O'Neal. I'm gonna go with. Can I pick 2?
No, you only get one.
All right.
You talking about? Do I get 2? No.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Hudson comes back out swinging.
I
Comes
could
comes
see
back and
that.
gets him a win.
I could see that. It's a points
Yep.
night. A little more
It's a
money on
points
the
night.
line.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Dalton Wilson.
That's another one, man. He's just
he's
right
been right there.
there.
Where did he end up? Fourth tonight or something like that?
He ended up, yeah. He ended up
So
fourth.
was that, I guess, 3 top 5s in a row? I don't even remember back to Ocala.
Yeah.
He might have. Who knows?
I don't remember back there, but
ran well at Alltech, second East
yeah.
Bay. Then another top 5 tonight. I'm going with Dalton Wilson to get his first Lucas Oil win tomorrow night at East Bay.
Yeah, it's good. I could see it. I could easily see that happening.
Yeah, time will tell.
And I would also like to see RTJ. It's a points night. Gets his motor situation figured out. Comes back out. See what happens. Yeah, you cannot count him out, no matter what.
Yeah, I wonder if they swap motors or do they go to a whole nother car.
I bet you they got one in the cabinet and they put a motor in it.
I bet that's probably the case.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. Time will tell. We got anything else that we need to cover? So, by the way, I meant to say this off the top, but Joseph is still at Longhorn.
Yep.
He'll be getting out of there tomorrow. I doubt he'll be with us tomorrow night, but maybe Friday night he'll be back with us. Joshua might be back with us tomorrow.
Tomorrow night?
Yeah,
that'd be good. It'd be a good addition to the show. I think we're holding it down pretty well, Jonathan, considering the circumstances.
Y'all think we're doing all right, chat?
Yeah.
I feel like me and Jesse, we can discuss things.
We can carry a conversation.
Yeah.
But hey, speaking of chat, like everybody that tuned in, and we know that it was late, and but thank y'all for hanging out with us, staying up late, and hanging out with us. Be sure to drop a like on the live stream, and subscribe if you haven't already. And a big shout out to top super chatter Marty Hagwood with $100, and he's also the most recent. But big thanks to that.
Our own screen thing working.
Yeah,
looks like,
dude, finally we got it working. So I was proud to see it whenever the first person super chatted and it actually changed. I'm like, yes.
No, Joseph is not getting another Longhorn. We took our we'll have a video out Friday. I doubt I'll have it out tomorrow. I got too much other stuff to do, but we've shot a video yesterday and today. I'll have it out Friday. Joseph took our newest Longhorn back to Longhorn to put it on the jig, and just make sure it took a lick at Swainsboro last year.
Yeah, in qualifying. Yep.
And we want to move up there and make sure everything was good. Plus, had a couple of updates, minor updates done to it as well. So more on that soon. But no, not another new Longhorn.
No,
would be nice, but it's not in the budget. I mean, cards. Or however you want to look at it,
both
for this year.
All of the above.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what. Another thing was going to get a quick plug here for Patreon. Patreon.com/huntthefront. I think me and Jesse and Joshua are going to sit down and record a podcast tomorrow morning. We're going to actually do it live on Patreon. We got to have something for Patreon that's exclusive to Patreon because. Believe me, we could not do what we do without the support that we get from the folks on Patreon. So if you're here, I know a lot of folks from Patreon are here and watching us. Thank you so much. So we're going to stream a podcast over there in the morning, and that's where we're going to talk about our racing, right?
Yep.
And
more personal, more our team related type stuff.
The HTF Nation podcast.
Yep.
So we do leave that over on Patreon because like I said, we got to have something. That we're not with Patreon. It's not like GoFundMe or nothing like that. We're providing content, for those that want it and also want to support us. So for $5 a month, you can get over there and get that podcast. We're going to stream it live on there tomorrow, and then the audio from it will be on the apps, the podcast apps, hopefully by tomorrow afternoon. But we're going to discuss Joseph's decision to not hot lap at Alltech Saturday night. That was his decision. We're going to discuss that. We're going to critique Joseph. He's not going to be there for the podcast. It's going to be the three of us. So we're going to talk about Joseph tomorrow on the Patreon HTF Nation podcast. Patreon.com/huntthefront for that to get signed up. The other thing, the Camaro giveaway that we're doing, still going on, htfmerch.com. Every $10 you spend now through March 3rd gets you one entry for the giveaway. I suggest maybe the hat Jesse's wearing.
Yeah.
brand new hat. The if you're a coffee drinker, get you a bag of coffee or a couple bags of coffee. Get you entered there. But also the rules and details are on there. All the rules and details, and how you can enter without making a purchase. HTFmerch.com for that. We got anything else we need to cover?
I think that covers it, man.
Yeah.
It was a good night of racing in East Bay. Looking forward to the rest of the week and some more podcasts out here as well.
We got rained out. We were gonna be at Southern Saturday night, so that was gonna take us away from doing the podcast and watching the final night of East Bay. But they already canceled Southern for Saturday night, so I'm not gonna say it's good news, but it's good news for our new podcast that we can sit here and talk about, watch East Bay and talk about the final night. So
absolutely.
But hey, y'all, W's in chat, like the video.
Yeah, dude, we forgot the W's in chat last night.
I saw a few. I did see a few, and that's what reminded me. So y'all hit us with them W's in chat, and then we'll be on Patreon tomorrow if you want to go get on there and catch some content in the morning. But then we'll be right back here tomorrow night on the new Hunt the Front podcast channel. Subscribe to it if you hadn't already. That cover it all, Jesse?
Yeah, that covers it. Thanks to everybody for tuning in live, and everybody that catches the replay. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and everyone that for the super chats. Thank you very, very much. And Marty Hagwood, top super chat of the stream. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
W's in chat.
There they
everybody.
Come. There they come. All right, thank y'all. We'll see y'all.
See ya.